followers on social media, or is it to get like clients, students?
What I did is I get my most of students from the Craigslist or word of mouth, actually word of mouth. I'm not very good at Facebook because I don't spend so much time on social media. You can be very busy.
So you want to have more students?
Yeah, I want to learn how to use social media to get more students.
I'm gonna see if I can upload a form to everybody right now, and then maybe we can work off of that for a bit. Let me just download it. Sylvia, are you also looking to promote yourself on Facebook? Or last time I know we talked a little bit about your goals. So what do you think about creating more classes in order to receive more revenue?
Well, I have, I'm on Facebook.
Okay.
And I had begun Instagram, but with your advice a couple of weeks ago, I put Facebook to the side and am focusing on Instagram. And because I am very grassroots, I did get several students from posting on Instagram months ago. And I guess I thought that, oh, this is good, but I found out that you can't just sit back and rest at that point. You have to keep up with it. So that's my concentration now.
Okay. Sorry, did you mean like continuing to post?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, to learn about posting, because I'm doing it all, and I'm becoming more, but I'm not real savvy with social media. If you look at my Facebook site or my Instagram account, that's all me. So I haven't been able to get.
Can you write in the chat your username? Is everybody able to do like a split screen of whatever I project on the computer and on your computer or laptop? Or is anybody using a cell phone?
I'm on a laptop. This is Sylvia.
Okay.
I am on a desktop, so I am good.
Okay. And does everybody have a Google Drive, Google Docs available to them?
Google Docs.
Mm-hmm. Like,
yes, we have. Yes, we have. I have.
okay.
I'm not sure what Google Docs is.
Yes, I can have that available.
Let me share my other screen. So if you have a Gmail account, you should have a Google Drive. Who is with the Gmail address Your Soul, KV at Gmail?
That is me. I'm Katie. I am on my cell phone because they're switching out my power lines, and the second like they turn my power back on, I'll be better. But for now, I'm just going to be on mute, hanging out.
Okay, no worries.
Thank you so much.
Sure. I'm gonna share this this document with everybody. I'll send, or I will share the link. And if you're not able to use it, it's okay. You still have the link. I'm not gonna delete the file. It's just, you can copy the file.
Can I text you? Can I send you my Gmail address?
Oh, it's okay. I can just put it in the chat. It should be a link to the actual file. And so you can duplicate it on your own drive if you like, or if you want to put your information, we'll just work off of your example. So first, I'd like for you to define what your goal and objective is. If it's higher revenue, if it's more, obviously more clients, but if you can have like a solid goal, or just more followers right now, if you feel like, well, I'm still growing, maybe a better goal would be to just have more people be aware of my business. You can put more followers in your file, or and make a solid or a specific goal. So if you only have 100 followers, would 200 followers be better or feasible, also depending on how much time you have available. So ask yourself, how much time do you have available for social media or marketing? That will really give you an idea of how limited you are, and maybe this is something that you can pass on to a contractor, or if you're able to dedicate not just the time available for marketing, but the education that it's required to actually be able to do all of the marketing for this goal. Because it also takes time, as many of you have mentioned. You're not familiar with all the tools on Facebook, so it requires even time to learn of all the tools and how to use them correctly, or even how to use them, period. So just be really clear and honest with yourself how much time you have available. And then we're gonna, I want you to also think about specifically who your target audience is. So include age. Right now, mostly like their interest, what they're interested in, and their economic level, or I'll just say level, economic, and where you believe they're at in terms of getting a hold of them. Where can you find them? Can you, if your product is for a two-year-old, would they even have an account? So would your target audience really be the 2-year-old or their mom? Is everybody able to view the file or connect with it?
Yes, this is Sylvia. Yes.
Okay. And then I want you to think about what message you are specifically going to portray. If it's awareness, if your objective is awareness, can you tell them a little bit more about yourself that will interest them? If it's how you do your work and it's educational, make sure you say how it benefits them by being educational. I'm gonna put the last one, actually this question, in the next one, so that this one will be your primary focus for taking action. This is where you will be dedicating most of your time, because it's the strategy that will be most effective for your target audience. So also if you're, I would say start out, if you can, without spending much money. If it's because you need signs, you know, put in how much you can afford to pay out. If the cost list, I'm just going to say, for example, if the cost of a sign is $50, maybe you can break it down to think about it in terms of, okay, well, I can afford $50 a month for about 3 months. So now your budget is 150 for this specific media that you're going to be using. So if your strategy is to print out flyers to get them out to, let's just say, schools, you have about $150 that you can dedicate, and whether you pay them out up front, at least think, well, it's going to be a 3-month campaign per se that you're going to be dedicating to this strategy. And how you track it is up to you. So you can I'm going to say tracking is the next one. So you can either put a code or like a mention this not coupon, mention this post or flyer. But that way you can ask them, how did they find you? And that way, if they actually ended up finding you some other way, you're also tracking what other ways they are finding you. And that way, maybe the media that you thought was most effective is actually second to the most effective. So if they are actually finding you because they distributed your flyer at another event, maybe it's that event that you should be at. And then, you know, always be conscious of who your competition is and what are they doing? How are they promoting, or how are they reaching their clients or customers? And when I talk about competition, I know there's, we all have a vision of where we want our business to go. If I wanted to see my business be I'm just going to use Walmart, for example. If I had a retail shop and I wanted my business to grow as big as Walmart is kind of my competition, but really more directly, who is somebody else that also has a retail shop and is has about the same amount or same number of customers, and is local, is in the area, and is also targeting specifically my target audience. So when I talk about competition, I would like for you to look at it more at a local level of who else is providing the same services that you're providing, not a bigger corporation, or not. Keep them in mind also, because they're obviously a bigger company due to maybe the resources or the type of services that they provide. And then let's see. And then at the end of your, you know, how long you want to try this strategy for, give yourself at least 3 months so that you can see the difference. Maybe 6 months max. And then decide whether you should be shifting or making a new strategy. And you know, you could do this for 3 different media. So if you feel like, okay, going out and networking is a really good one for me, is a solid one. And also doing a social media post, or not a Facebook post, and distributing my flyers. Be very specific about where. So if the media is the flyers, you know, decide the locations where your flyers should be distributed. So I will actually put that one here, and I'll just put media distribution. If it's Facebook, think about who you can tag, who can share, or who can you ask to share, who you can collaborate. And that's a big one too. Who can I collaborate in order to grow? I really like last time that we were talking about different ways of selling. I believe it was Pinterest that came up, and you know, the idea of selling just the graphics compared to the t-shirt. I personally would say the more you can be involved in the delivery of your product or service, the better, because it's the buyer experience. It's not just about the product, it's how they experience the purchase process. If they buy the graphic, let's just say, if you can just have that conversation with your customer, like, oh, I'm just curious, what would you like to, what are your plans with my graphic? Where are you thinking of printing it? If they say, oh, well, I'm going to print my own t-shirts, you know, the fact that they're still going to have to do more work on their own. Of course, it's up to them, but if you can assist in the process of making that easy for them, and just saying, well, you know, if you allow me to, how many t-shirts will you need? If you allow me to print them, it would just be this much, and you would get it in this time. Because sometimes we're all very, very busy. And so we can't be certain that everybody will, you know, actually print or use our product if we don't take it to that step where they need it at. Again, that's kind of a personal preference, maybe. I would say for me, the goal was to get awareness of our brand. So I make it a point to get it printed. It wouldn't just be about selling my graphic. Additionally, maybe I would provide that as a freebie if they wanted to in the future, or just sell it as like a bonus add-on. Just little things to think about. So I think, there's more people on. I'm gonna share my my PowerPoint just to briefly go over what we talked about last time, and then also to finalize the points that I wanted to make. Are there any questions so far?
I was wondering, you know, Tommy, is it possible for you to share your PowerPoint with us? You have our email address, right?
Yes, and I believe, oh, I emailed them to Gabby this afternoon, barely. So I believe you should be getting them anytime soon.
Okay, great. Yeah, if you
Yeah.
can, all your, all your first and second days and third days,
Yes.
PowerPoints, that'd be great help. Thank you.
Yes. I'm gonna actually, if everybody doesn't mind, we'll come back to this slide. It was in the first presentation, but because Leanne has to leave by 5, I'm gonna hop over to Facebook. Last time, I believe we talked a little bit about Pinterest, and I think that was the platform that we were talking about mostly. But let me hop onto Facebook and let you know why digital marketing is very important. Regardless of whether you're directly selling to the customer or just having what's it called? Digital presence or internet presence. Just make yourself available, or at least your products or your services, information about your business available online. So that anybody that logs on will at least have something to look at and something to refer back on.
Right.
So I'm gonna go back and share Facebook. So most of you say you have a Facebook page, right? Does everybody have a business Facebook page? Or you can write in the chat if you like. For those of you that have not opened up a business Facebook page, I highly recommend it, and mostly because you will have all these tools available to you. I don't know if somebody has their the audio up on their laptop or their phone or however it is that you're communicating, but I can hear my echo. If you want to just turn one of those down. MC. Who's MC? Malana, you say you don't, and Sylvia, you do. Okay. So Malana, do you have a Facebook page, a personal one?
Yes, I have a personal that I don't use as much, and I have a business Instagram, but I created that, and then I am not using because I am somehow wanting to learn strategies, or if there is a software to post and planning ahead. I don't want just to post for posting. I want to have a plan.
Okay.
And as I don't know exactly where to start, because what I sell is not a product, it's a service, and sometimes
Right.
I was waiting to get help somehow to have a strategy. Yes.
Okay. So again, you can create a table per media. So let's just say the focus here would be Facebook. If your demographics on Facebook is different from your demographics on Instagram, then this one would be dedicated to Instagram. If they're similar, you could just, obviously put in Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
But here I can do the flyer. So because it is a service, and in order for you to convert an individual into a client, you above many other businesses have to obtain the trust of many of your clients. So it's important that your message is very clear and considerate of who your customer or client is, not just what emotions, not just what they're looking for, but their emotions. So, going back in depth about your target market, you can talk about what their emotions are, what is the problem, especially the problem, so that you know how to alleviate or how to come up with solutions to present to them. So going into the tools of, once you have a business page, you'll have access to what Facebook considers, or what Facebook calls Meta Business Suite. I forget the name that it used to be, but it used to be Pages. But it allows you to not just monitor your personal, but you'll get messages from whoever messages your business page. And this is the one that you're probably thinking about, the planner. So I'm going to click on that. And then this is where will allow you to post ahead. So what I like about this is that Facebook, or at least on the laptop or computer version, you will receive these recommendations from, or not recommendations, these important days that Facebook thinks that you should be aware of. So if your business is related to World Mental Health Day, October 10th is probably a very important day for you. If your business relates to Teachers Day, I would say being a piano teacher is a very important day on October 5th. So finding a way to relate to these different special days or holidays, National Dessert Day, how does our favorite dessert make us feel? Or do we eat when we're emotional? You know, that fits in with the health, mental health aspect. National Pasta Day, how can we relate that to even piano? You know, that would be an interesting but creative way to capture maybe new clients that love pasta and haven't thought about taking piano lessons. You know, National Cat Day, Halloween. And so also with Facebook, the planner, you'll get an idea of when Facebook recommends that you post. So after you've been on for at least 100 followers, that's when Facebook allows you to see the insights. And when they track your insights, you know, you have the option of selecting the time. So if you wanted to compare last year to this year around this time or this month, you're able to go back last year and get those analytics, and then hop on back to this year at this month or last month. So you're able to compare and contrast. You're able to just select that timeline. For whatever reason, you know, if you had a different activity last year and now you're not, that's the perfect way of obtaining some insights on that. Facebook also asks you about your goals, and then here are the results. I'll take you more into depth of what that means. So I help with the food bank of Santa Barbara County, and this is their Spanish page particularly, because they felt, you know, the gals that work directly with the customers or clients felt that their website, one, was mostly in English, but also their Facebook page was mostly targeted towards their sponsors. So they felt that they weren't getting messages or resources out like they felt like they should. And they knew that a lot of their clients were on Facebook, a lot more that are on Instagram. So they wanted to create a Facebook page with just Spanish resources and inspirational material that will engage and increase the number of clients that they would receive their services. So here, you know, we're tracking only this is tracking the last 28 days. So Facebook, even though it's a pretty good number, it decreased by 38%. Here it'll tell me how many people are actually viewing our post and what their ages or gender is. So 81% of our followers identify themselves as women, and mostly between the ages of 25 to 34. So by knowing that, we're able to create a strategy that will target or engage more of that target audience, of that demographic. You also have the ability to look at your posts and figure out why some receive more attention than others. If you notice, this one reached 964, but this one only 82. A lot of people are used to just, because Facebook has changed quite a bit. So the posts that a lot of people create are either square or, you know, like on TikTok, it's more vertical. So by accident, one time I created a vertical post, not by accident, but I didn't think it was going to be a big deal. I figured people can click on the post to get all of the information. But I created a post with, I'm going to use this one for example. It had all of the details except the location and the time on the majority of the graphic. So the date and the location were actually down below here. For some reason, Facebook now decides to crop the graphic when it isn't in a square version. And so many people were asking me, hey, you know, well, where is it going to be at? What time? And I was kind of wondering, like, why are they asking me if it's on the graphic? Well, because Facebook cropped it, it turned out to be a good thing. People were actually having to click on the graphic in order to see the rest of the information. So I would, I messaged them, or I would put it on the comments like, oh, please click the graphic to see all of the information. And, all this time we're thinking, well, there wasn't, many of our followers don't engage much. Again, it's due to the culture, the demographics of our followers. But by not thinking that they weren't going to click on it and seeing all these questions or seeing all these comments, it made me realize, okay, people are actually viewing the post. They just don't engage much for whatever reason, or, sometimes we're just very busy. We see it and we just think, okay, I'll go on that day. But those are little tricks sometimes that you can try, creating a graphic and just say, click on the graphic to view more, or something like that. So that is a little bit about the insights. It's a little bit about the posts and the stories that you create. The nice thing about Facebook is now that you can, Instagram and Facebook joined. So you're able to post on both of them at the same time. Before, it used to be where you would post on Instagram and then you can post on Facebook at the same time. Now you can do both. Are there any questions so far?
Yes, what are the requirements for a business to open a Facebook?
Just making sure that you include all of your information, all your business information. You tell Facebook specifically what kind of business you are, because it will help you a lot by identifying your business with whether you're a promoter, whether you are a nonprofit, a for-profit, if you're a school district, because that way Facebook can kind of send you some tips.
Yes.
But really not much. It's just as long as you fill out as much information as you can. Let me go back to this one. I'll show you a little bit about how much the more the better, especially if you don't have a website. But when you fill out all of the information that you're able to, for example, if you sell products online, here is a great opportunity to where you can also promote your store on Facebook. If you need people to make appointments with you, you're able to connect your other programs or whatever application that you use to allow appointments. You can connect it with your Facebook. If you have services, you can list all of the services and the prices for them and the description. So it's pretty versatile in terms of helping businesses display a lot of their services and products. If you're not able to take the time to post on social media or Facebook, you can have somebody else like your page and then assign them a role as either administrator or editor. If you have the trust in that person, and even then, I would say try to avoid having anybody else be the administrator. By assigning them the editor role, they can still post and create graphics for you. Just because somebody can steal your page, somebody can hack into it, somebody can completely ruin your business by having that much power. And it is a huge headache and just a nightmare, a total nightmare. So whoever, if you don't have the time to manage it, just start out by giving them the editor role. And so you can also post your Facebook ads on other platforms, or link it to your website. Or for example, TikTok, if you create videos there, or on YouTube, for YouTube, you can add the link to, I would say add the link to your YouTube video. I used to, unless you want to or could upload directly to your Facebook page. I used to not do that because the quality would not be as great, but Facebook has been getting a lot better about it. I mean, if your video is like top quality, otherwise, I think it pretty much matches whatever resolution your phones have. So it shouldn't be a huge problem now. And then
I have a question regarding the language of the Facebook page.
yes.
If I want to have can I have like two profiles, one in Spanish and one in English?
Mhm.
Or there is an option to switch, translate,
Besides language, would your demographics basically be the same in terms of economic
That's
level?
what I have to, that's what I am working on the side. Yes.
Okay, if you can see if they're basically the same educational level economically, in the same region, and culture, not so much also, not just the language, but if the culture is very similar, and I'm thinking, if you're thinking Spanish, so only Spanish speakers and only English speakers, that could make the distinction between having two pages. But if a lot of them are bilingual, I would suggest you would be okay with just one page. That way you don't have too much to have to manage. And plus, especially if you're translating the same information, just, creating two graphics is also acceptable. We see it very often. So it wouldn't be such a huge hassle for somebody that only speaks English to see both languages. As long as they see it in their language, they're okay with it. So, but yeah, you can do one. For example, this page is just in Spanish. All our captions are in Spanish. All the graphics are in Spanish. And if you have your settings in Spanish also, then, you can do whatever you want. We as a follower, sometimes we have our settings set to where our posts automatically translate. So it wouldn't be a huge deal if for whatever reason you accidentally only post in Spanish. Sometimes Facebook just automatically translates. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah. And Francis also mentioned that make your Facebook page, even if you don't use it. Again, online presence is huge. And just having something to display your work, your product or services is huge. I don't know, Francis, if you wanted to share a little bit about the experience that you had. When you open your Facebook page, you can also name it whatever you want, as long as it's appropriate. I would say name it whatever your business is, because that's how people are going to be looking for you. And you have the option to also change your username. So I will. Oops.
So what happened is I worked at a spa, and an old employee very vindictively opened up a Facebook page underneath the name of the spa, specifically so the spa owner could never have a Facebook page. That was the name of the spa. because Facebook will not allow you to have the same exact name as someone else's page. So they took the exact same, the exact spa name and created that page. And to this day, still has the rights and ownership over that page.
Yeah.
I mean, and you want to talk about a nightmare. I can't tell you how many hours I spent trying to find someone in Facebook to figure out what we could do. And they're like, there's nothing that we can do. They didn't do anything illegal. They're not slandering you. They're not posting anything on it. They just claimed it. You should have already had that page created, which I didn't know that we didn't have a page. That was actually what they hired me to do, was to go in and help them with that. So yeah, I spent a year fighting that, and it was nothing you could do. So even if you decide for some reason not to use it, it's a very good idea if you have a very specific name that is your business to go in and at least get those pages made so that nobody else can come up with that name or, you know, vindictively take it from you, claim it everywhere that you can. But if you are really working on your SEO and doing everything, all of your social media is key to that. So it's, you know, the easiest, most inexpensive way to do a lot of your marketing is through social media.
Yeah. Does anybody have a website?
It's under construction, but yes.
Yeah.
A published website?
I have a free website on Google, you know, Google site.
Oh,
That's
okay.
free, but I don't
Um,
think it reach so many customers. Probably,
Yeah.
yeah, I have it's
And
free. You can create it on the website, on Google website. That's free. But probably it's harder to, you know, get anyone noticed.
right. And with Google, I mean, that's another platform that is also very useful, especially with the reviews. And in your case, that one is very important. So if you, every customer that you receive, if you can direct them that way for them to give you a review. And also, I don't know, how often do you post or change any graphics or information on that platform?
That platform, I have a pictures, everything pictures, the recommended letters, and you know, different categories. My biographic, my resume on it, and my different page on it. It's just like a normal website. But I don't think it reaches so many customers. But what is good is when you get a customer, you know, they want to know lots of things about you. You could just send them a link, right? They can direct the link to know the price and your
Yes.
experiences and your resume. Instead every time you send them lots of attachment in the email. Still useful.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of like another website. I'm
The
gonna
good
give
thing
you,
is free. You don't have to pay, right? When you start a business, you earn very little. You don't want to spend a lot of money. Some people use a lot of money for marketing, but they earn very little. That's why they go bankrupt. When you establish a business, first you think about how to survive. Use as little as money as possible to do marketing, and
yes.
get as much as possible to get a customer. That's what we try to do it.
Yeah. And I mean, there's other ways to promote it, other promoting efforts to make that strategy more effective. So it's not that that strategy isn't effective, is that we have to direct people towards that
Right.
platform.
Yeah, because so many offers, you know, on the website, they don't know who is good, you know, whatever. That's build up reputation is very important, I would say.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to what, sorry, I just got a little bit distracted, to what we were talking about in terms of naming your page, what your business is. So food bank, for example, this one, the @username, you could always change. Once you open up the page, this is the important one. If you haven't opened up the page, you can search let's see. if the number is available, or not the number, the name is available. So I'm gonna just do Hula Slow, for example. Sylvia, is this your page?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so if I was to open up another business and wanted that specific name, I would no longer have access to it. It's like a domain name. Once it's taken, it's not available. Once it's released, I believe even Facebook takes a long, or at least Instagram for sure, it takes a long time to even release a name after it's no longer claimed. And that is what's really upsetting, especially if you had it once and then you lost it, you can't claim it or get it again for a very, very long time. So just making sure that the name is available when you do select your business name. And then also once you do have your business name, making sure you get it, open the Facebook page for business under that name that you want. So if you see here, Central Coast Hula is actually your username. But I researched, or I looked for Hula Slow. So what was it that brought me to your page? Was probably your website, because you have it listed as hulaslow.org. So maybe, let me see. Hula Slow. I think if I wanted to open up another page, if I wanted to take that username, I might be able to. I won't do it. But I'm pretty sure that because you don't have it, somebody else can take it. But if you're comfortable sending people to this username, until the next Hula Slow username exists, people will continue to see your page. And it also could be because of the region they live in. Facebook is very, very smart. It'll tell you which pages, which areas, which events, what posts might interest you. And so it'll put it within your feed. So in terms of the use of Facebook, you can create photos, you can create a video, you can create a graphic and put a check-in or a photo. You can tag friends. The page might not allow you to tag friends until they like the page. Sometimes it's a little weird if you go in through your personal page to your business page. Sometimes you can tag your own friends, because now you are acting as an individual. So that part gets a little bit tricky of how to do certain things. Your phone is also different. For example, the app on your phone, if for whatever reason you make a mistake on a graphic and you want to repost, you can't repost. You can't switch out the graphic on the computer, but your phone application might let you. I believe that was the way I was able to switch out it. Before you couldn't do it, period, but now you're able to.
As you say, it's really difficult between the Facebook page and let's say Instagram. And I make mistakes all the time, but I can delete my posts that appear on Facebook if I've goofed up. And I'll do that within seconds because I can see it right away. Yeah. It's the trial and error.
Right. And unfortunately, I don't think Instagram can do that yet, or does that yet. It won't switch it out. You'll just have to delete it and repost. So I also wanted to, well, I can go into Instagram, I think. Let me double check. Or let's see. If before I go to Instagram, sorry, I'll just use another example. this is another website from one of our participants. So if, let's just say you're still in the awareness stage of your business, you're wanting people to know about you. So you should be able to share any page within your website onto Facebook, even if it's just copying and pasting the link into it. Just when you're ready to create a post, you paste the link. Facebook will ask you sometimes, or will automatically just create a graphic for you that displays the information that you're posting. So if your strategy is to create blogs on your website, this is how you can share those blogs onto your Facebook page. The fact that you want your pages or your page to be in Spanish and then and have another one in English, will your websites also be in Spanish and then another one in English? Just little things to think about. Mhm.
Yes, I think I decided to do only in English because in the end, most of the people speak English. I was not trying to reach out the market that is outside the state because of my license. But if I go into certain kind of coaching that I was planning to, because I did my research in migration and adjustment and how that impacts the psyche, the people when you move from one place to another, especially if there is a culture involved. So I was thinking about having bilingual, but I think I'm going to simplify by now. And once I have all my business in place, I will try to see if I can reach other people. But I think I'm going to try to simplify.
Yeah, simple is better, and not just for you, but also the clients.
Yeah.
For those that are considering doing Facebook ads, if you have a small budget that you want to use, I'll just quickly go through the process of creating an ad. You can click on create a new ad, and then if you can change your goal. For now, you can leave if you're not certain what to do, or or if you feel like you don't know what you're doing, you can leave it on automatic. Facebook will still give you a lot of flexibility to change it. So it'll ask you what graphic do you want to post. It'll ask you what, basically what do you want your ad to look like. So if you, for example, if you're only able to work with clients that are within the state or even the county, this is where you will be telling Facebook that you only want clients within this region. That's not to say that other people won't follow your Facebook page. They might not receive this ad, but also keep in mind that if somebody is following your page, even though they're not in your region, they either have maybe possibly somebody that lives in the region that could use this information that you have, or they're planning to visit or be in your area in the future, and they want to keep this resource available to them. There could be other reasons. I would just be open also to those that are just followers, just because they could be the one recommending your services to somebody that is within your region and you're able to serve. And so Facebook also is pretty good about giving you or following your budget. So if you only have $5 a day that you can afford, it'll sum it up to, depending on how many days you want to post, it'll give you an estimated reach of people, depending on that budget. If you increase it, then of course the reach is higher. Again, that doesn't guarantee that you're going to be selling to this many people. You really, really have to know what message to put out in order to engage and convert those followers or viewers into a customer or client. If you don't want to spend any, let's just say $2 a day. This is about the estimate. But keep in mind that I haven't selected any of the options. So if it was more specific to a specific target, again, depending on what people I select, like for example, here they put interest, just married, benefit, cosmetics, waxing, jewelry, design. So this is whoever was managing the page last might have added these. And so those are the type of interest that they inputted. Facebook also asked for what kind of behaviors. So if they go to the gym, if they go to school, if they're working full time, all of those little details go into that. And again, that's why it's very, 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 very important to know who your customer is. Leanne, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I have to go. Could you,
Okay.
Gabriela, could you send me the recording, please? The second
Yes.
day and third day. Thank you so much.
Of
And also,
course.
and Romy, can you share your slide pictures with us? Don't
Yes.
forget, I have to go. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I have to go.
Sure.
Bye.
No problem. Also another, for example, with the Women's Business Center, I had the opportunity to do the e-newsletter, and I noticed that was their primary grab. I'm not sure how many of you learned about this workshop through, I know it was through the Morro Bay Chamber of Commerce collaborating with us, but also I'm sure you received the email, and that's where you most of you heard of it. How many of you heard of it somewhere else?
A friend of mine did some classes, so she recommended this to me. Yeah.
Okay.
Classes.
Yeah. When I looked at the analytics for their e-newsletter, which also, by the way, if your target audience is mostly captured through emails, Constant Contact and MailChimp are, whoops. Can everybody see me? Oh yeah, or see the screen. MailChimp and Constant Contact have analytics also, information about how many people clicked on it. Gabby, do you mind if am I able to share some of that on there? On just to
Sorry,
show.
I'm sorry, repeat that again. I had stepped away for a moment.
Can I share the Constant Contact insights that we can receive?
Oh, sure, of course.
Okay. Let me just go to it really quick. Are any of you interested in doing e-newsletters?
Yes, but what I exactly know what I am going to say when I have a strategy, and that I reframe. And
yeah. So what would make it easy for me was going off of national holidays. First, again, did you receive the link to the Google Drive?
yes, I have it here open.
Okay, so if if you, I think they changed the the password on me, but for some reason I'm not able to go in. But it's okay.
That may very well have been the case. Sorry about that.
Okay, no worries. I'll go back to the other one. So how often do you think you're able to post or create some type of an engagement or awareness?
I would say maybe once a week if I plan it for the week. But I realize that then I will have to be paying attention in order to answer questions during the week, or sometimes I don't know if there is a decision made if you engage with people with questions or not, you know, on social media or even in a newsletter. So to plan it maybe once a week, but then maybe 20 minutes a day, half hour a day to answer anything that comes up from that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, having a time for it every week is a good amount of time. How many hours would you say?
A week, I can be 2 hours, 2 hours and a half a week.
Okay. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you would be posting every week. By having that time available, you can, one week you can prepare for the following week, and the next week you can create. Let's see. I'm going to share this other screen just to get an idea. So if let's say you post twice a month, this is actually not the, I don't think this is, I mean, these are other analytics, other type of information that Constant Contacts has. But through Constant Contacts, you're able to see how many people opened your link or opened your email. How, if you have links like other resources on your email, it will allow you to, let's see. Let me go to a different one. It will allow you to know how many people clicked on those links, and how many people actually don't. And it'll tell you how many people unsubscribed. It will tell you how many new subscribers you have. So all of that information will be at your reach once you obtain an account. I don't think that they're free. I actually haven't looked into the rates, but I do know because it's more, it's like a mail, something in the mail, you know, it goes directly to that specific client. So somehow you obtained their email, whether they were receiving your services before, or you're looking to reach out to them in the future. And if they did receive services from you before, then they're more likely to refer you, of course, knowing if they were satisfied with their progress or their improvement in this.
Yes.
The therapy sessions. Mhm.
Yeah, in this case, I'm always careful. I will have to consult with the association, with the legal team, because sometimes I don't know. I think I will have to check specifics for marketing in this case with clients, you know, former clients. Sometimes, depending if it is a former employment I had, and if I agree that I could take my clients or not, you know, that kind of. When this profession, there is something about that the people you know or your own contacts, I will not work with them, you know. And then the people that I work, usually I may not be reaching out to try to have them back, even if it was the reason was maybe because I changed jobs or the person was doing better. I don't know if I can do that. That's maybe what I want to say.
Yes, if it's because of confidentiality that you're afraid of, as long as
Yes,
you're not
a confidentiality, and yeah, I think it's, and I don't know if I can reach specifically to them to offer, maybe it's just a psychoeducation. I can do like send something in terms of a topic.
Yeah, it would be more
Psychoeducation.
generic. It wouldn't be addressing their issues. It would be informing them of, you know,
Some, yeah,
yeah,
coping skills for stress, mindfulness tools in case of, you know, transitions or yeah.
yeah. And so really what you want to do at the end is wrap it up and bring them back to you. So whether you're talking about a certain topic, let them know that you're available for them. If that's something that they can identify themselves with, leave your information, always post your information, your contact info at the very top, ideally, or at the bottom, so that they can, if they're looking at it through their cell phone, which is also another insight that you get, is whether they see it through their cell phone or their computer or a tablet, you'll have an idea of how they are looking at your email. So, if they're on it through their cell phone, they can just click on your phone number and call right away, or click on your email and then email you right away, whatever their preference is. But because it is more direct type of marketing, you're right. We wouldn't talk about a specific person. We wouldn't talk about a specific even school. You would just talk about what the issue is, how it can affect us in general, how you can help if we're dealing with it. The same thing for example, with Sylvia, I would say if you created an e-newsletter, it could be in collaboration with school districts or the YMCA or Big Brothers Big Sisters, the Boys and Girls Club. If you had an e-newsletter, I would say it would be maybe directed at parents, but if the objective there was to get collaborators to help you get the word out, I would even just send it to the directors of those sites, or both. You can send it to the directors of those sites, and you can create another one that is very similar to it, directed at the list of parents that you have. I know you mentioned that Melina, you mentioned that if they didn't give you their email address, then you feel like you're kind of invading, I guess, in a way, or just sending something that they didn't ask for.
Yes, maybe I can have the option, because I use a software that I fill in with all the information that is HIPAA compliant. So I can have like an option of receiving the newsletter just from the moment that they start working with me. So then that will be something that is, and then once we terminate, I can ask them again if they would like to continue receiving information through the newsletter. Something that is very clear that they have accepted, that is, yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. Because that's actually one of the things that they require, whether it's through MailChimp or Constant Contact. If somebody unsubscribes, they will be asked, why did you unsubscribe? And they have the option to say it's unrelatable, like I don't need that information anymore, or they say I didn't subscribe. And if Constant Contact or MailChimp sees a lot of those that they didn't subscribe to, or they didn't give permission for you to add them to your list, they can practically close your account. So it's very important to add people that only are in agreement.
Yeah, and now I'm thinking that you're saying this is because their platforms, they don't guarantee I'm sure they do guarantee the confidentiality, but I don't know the level of security they have, with if it is to the level of HIPAA compliant. So because it's a third party, I work with third party with Simple Practice, and then everything that is dealing, the client has a relationship with their bank, so it's not through me, and it's yeah, I understand. Yeah, it's like a third party that I provide their information.
Through the website?
Through the MailChimp or Constant Contact. It's a client who will sign the agreement with them by clicking, or is with me, and then I provide the third party with their information.
Do you have an account? Do you directly or personally write the information for the e-newsletter?
No, they make their own profile in a website. I invite them through a software that I use for telehealth and electronic records.
Uh-huh.
So if I want to use, they should authorize me to release their information to the, for instance, constant contact, if I want to use that service.
Uh-huh.
Something like that. Yeah.
No, there's no breach of confidentiality there, because Constant Contact is just a host site, kind of like GoDaddy. You don't really necessarily give them, they host your website, but you don't necessarily send them all the information so that they can do something with it. That's your account. You have access to their information within that account. Constant Contact really doesn't do anything with their information as far as phone number, email. They only look at your account in terms of how is it performing? Are you paying, or are you sending out weekly, bi-weekly, annually? But they don't use it for their benefit. So the information that you input about each client, know that it is on a kind of like a cloud site. So the fact that somebody can hack into it, probably, but between you and what was it, Constant Contact, they're not going to use it to their benefit. Yeah, so any agreement that is made between you and the client is really just asking them, is it okay if I send you e-newsletters or, just quick tips about this issue or any issue really in general? Yeah. Does that answer your question?
No, yes, it's like I use Proton Mail and it's the same. Yes, I understand. It's like an email host. It's a host.
Yeah, it's just like a hosting site for emails for you to create and send out. Okay, so were there any other platforms, or is anybody else considering a different type of
I have a
strategy?
question.
Uh-huh.
When I created the website and a month and a half ago and I started the practice, my friend says, okay, just go to Google and subscribe to Google Ads. No, so I did, but to be sincere, I don't even know. I want to cancel it until I understand how the ad part works, because I think they are billing me and I don't receive clients in that way. And what do you suggest about Google Ads? Is something that you see that works, or?
How did you create your profile?
I think I created my personal profile personally as a therapist, because when I wanted to create the business one, but then they wanted a confirmation and I provided them my number, but my number is through Psychology Today. I have a number that is the one that is published, and that goes directly to my cell phone. So that number didn't work with the business. So I could never verify the business. So then I use my personal, my name and my license. But then I receive emails from Google telling me how the ad is doing. But to be sincere, I don't know how to read the statistics, or I don't know, they're sending me a bill and I don't see up to now, any benefit, and I want to cancel it until I really have a whole plan, what am I going to do? So my question is, if you know about Google Ads, if that is something that works for people's websites, or it doesn't, or depending on the business.
So yeah, it really actually depends on the business. And I'm not glad that you haven't seen any success, but I'm glad that you noticed, or not any success, but much success or much change.
Yes, from that way, I'm not receiving anybody, and I think I just received today a bill, it's like a lot of money, so.
Yeah. I think it could be successful for your services, including Sylvia and Lane. Sorry, Laney, or she left, but for any local, like local shops, local entertainment, and we can take a look at it a little bit more. So you create a business profile through Google My Business first, or did you just directly go to Google Ads?
I went directly to Google Ads because somehow, as I worked in the past in an agency, I was already having sort of like an unclaimed profile, the personal one. Yes, I just, I think I created a profile. Let's say it this way.
Okay. If you don't remember, I mean, that's okay. If you don't mind looking into it.
Yeah, I'm going to do it right now. Yes.
So I would recommend creating a business profile first. Google Ads is kind of like Facebook ads. You can have a Facebook page and it's free, but then when you start creating Google or Facebook ads, you would have to pay for them. Same thing with Google My Business. You can go to, you can type in Google My Business and it'll take you to google.com/business. So you can create a profile. And this is free. So this is where you tell Google, hey, can you list me as a business? Just like Facebook, you might want to keep a file that has all your information. So you could just copy paste on all platforms that you feel are important to be on. It'll ask you about where you're located, what your specific service or product is.
Yes,
It'll ask you what times you're open. Oh, go ahead.
No, I found this is my name. It's not the business because I couldn't verify my business with the phone I have.
Okay, yeah, and that's another important thing. How are people supposed to be calling you? If you have a personal phone, I would suggest not putting that one unless that's the one you use for business. If your business phone number is different, and that's the way you want people to contact you, that is the phone number that you should be putting down. Because again, a lot of people are looking at your information through a mobile, maybe like a cell phone, and will just click on your cell number to call you up. So it's really important that you put the correct number, the correct address, the correct time of service.
Yes, no, I have a number that Psychology Today provides me, but it goes directly to my cell phone.
So maybe it's something that you need to look at with them.
Okay.
Yeah, how they're linking the phone call.
Okay.
And letting them know that where you want them where you want your customers to call. In terms of the Google ad, for now, if you have a more direct number to that
Yeah.
this number.
No,
Is that the only number?
that will be my cell phone. The number that shows is the number provided by Psychology Today.
Okay.
Connects directly to my cell phone, but my cell phone doesn't show the number.
Oh, I see. Okay, so and that's, I would say that's okay when you're not able to go to the office. But if you don't want them to link at all, maybe the company needs to look at how to create a voice box for you for when you're not able to pick up. Do you have a physical phone in the office?
No, I don't have a phone in the office. I use my cell phone.
Oh, okay, that's probably why they link it to your cell phone. If you had a physical phone in your office, that's how you can pick up the calls. Does that make sense?
No, I don't understand. But Because they said that I received phone calls, that I didn't receive any phone calls. So that, in the report, when they send you the email with the report, they tell you how many calls.
I'm sorry. Do you want them to be calling you on your cell phone? That it's linked to your cell phone?
Yes, I mean, I
Oh,
want
okay.
to-
I'm sorry.
No. I have a number that number is provided by Psychology Today, that I am listed, and that is connected directly to my cell phone. But
Yes.
my cell phone, the number per se never shows up in the internet. What shows up is a different number. That is one that I pay to Psychology Today. I have a profile in Psychology Today, and I have a telephone number. But a telephone number will sound in my cell phone, that.
Yeah, if you don't mind calling me later, and that way I
Yes.
can figure out like where the
Okay.
real problem is.
Okay.
But if you haven't created a business profile through Google My Business, I highly recommend it. It's again, it'll be online presence for your business. It's free. It's as easy as Facebook. I'll say in between quotes, because I know it can be challenging understanding how to navigate. And again, it's personalized. So the trick to this, I know somebody mentioned at the beginning of the workshop, somebody mentioned that they wanted to have more understanding of the SEOs, and that is very complex. So SEO can be your website or online presence can be improved by your personal activity on these sites. So the more you post on Facebook, the more you post on your business profile, the more changes or more active that you are on all these sites will enhance the number of followers, the number of visitors. It really depends on how much you are involved also. It's not so much about, can everybody see it? How can I improve it? It's, what are you doing? It's like opening up a shop physically. If you're not opening your shop up, how do you expect people even to come in? So that in a way, that's kind of the same in the digital world. If you're not even going to your own website or your own page, why do you expect people to go to it? Unfortunately. It also has to do with the content that you provide. So if your business is food related, make it look as yummy as possible. Colorful, if it's more on the healthy side, make it look healthier. If your services include dancing, maybe you don't necessarily have to put people. You can take photos or videos of the outfits that you wear on performing day, or what makes it important. Your content also is very, very influential depending on the words that you use. Knowing which what do you call them? Which terms to use in your industry will be very, very beneficial too. So these are examples of what you could be using as hashtags or as tags on your profiles. Facebook and hashtags are not as popular or won't benefit you as much as hashtags on Instagram and TikTok. Hashtags are words that you can create, or there are words or terms that you can create to link followers or your target audience back your way. Let's say that you want, like if you're posting on Instagram and you want people to know about, and I'm even going to use Hawaii, even though you're not located in Hawaii, Sylvia, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the form of dancing or the traditions are very much from the origin of that area. You know, that was the whole purpose of the program when we first initiated it.
Yes, that's right.
And so even putting Hawaiian culture, Hawaii, Oahu or Kauai, you know, even little towns within the islands can draw people in, because it might be somebody that will be visiting the islands, or it might be somebody that just absolutely loved it and wants to know more about it for when they go back. The fact that you might be in the area and they never knew it will also bring them towards you by having that hashtag. With Google My Business sites, sorry, I have to switch over to different screens. They have what we call just tags, or keywords that will bring people towards you. So listing the towns around your town, listing the type of products or even the interests of your demographics or target audience are important. Here we see an example of repair, remodeling, commercial, electric, residential. You know, what are the terms that are common in your industry, and what are the interests of your target audience aside from you, aside from dancing? Or what if they are dancers, but they've never tried that style of dancing or that culture? So just anything you can add to it is always a plus. And so with this site, then you can also create those ads. So and I believe that's what you're paying for. If you want to cancel it, I would, until you feel more confident about it. Here are just some examples that they provide, you know, in order to help you better display your products and services. Here, obviously, you're able to add your prices. What I like also about Facebook is that they have automated responses. So anytime anybody sends you a message or a question, if you have already created a response for a specific question, it will automatically send it to that person. Sometimes it's beneficial when you're not able to manage it often, depending on the response. You don't want it to answer something that is not related to what they asked, because otherwise they feel like, well, okay, then there's really nobody there available for me, and that's not what I asked. So it could push them away. But if it's something more generic, just like, oh, thank you, we received your message and we will respond as soon as possible, or you can call us now and leave the phone number. You know, that might be a better response than, oh, the cookie cutter's over there, even though they're asking about carrots or something. Just an example. Are there other platforms that anybody else is considering using or is using? Katie? I know, I think last time oh, go ahead.
I was just thinking if there were other platforms. Definitely Google. I'm definitely, curious about how to rank higher. When someone Googles my specific trade, I'm not necessarily ranking very high.
What's your website? Sorry.
Dress Your Soul KV.
Oh yeah.
.com is my website.
Uh-huh.
But as far as Google My Business goes, like if you search crystals in Morro Bay or crystals near me or something like that, stores that don't necessarily have crystals would rank higher.
Okay. And you said you have a website, but you want to, do you have a Google My Business profile?
Yeah.
You do?
Yes.
Okay. When was the last time you went in?
About a week ago.
Okay. And what did you do with that site?
Last week,
Yes.
I put some photos up.
Okay. Let's see. Oops, wrong screen. So I'm gonna search for you and we'll just kind of get an idea of what's going on.
Okay.
What is I must have spelled it wrong last time, but you said rest?
Dress.
Dress, that's fine. Yes.
Your soul KV.com. You have a superfluous D in there.
Oops. So sometimes it's also the length. Is it catchy? Is it, this is obviously your website. Do you get the analytics from your website?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess I get an email once in a while how many people looked at it. I don't know if I get it from my website, but I get it from the Google My Business. This is how many people searched for you, or this is how many
Yeah.
people. Is that the same thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's through Google, so it's not just specific to your website.
Okay.
But it does give you a really good idea of how many people are looking
Mhm.
for crystals. And then technically how many people actually end up to buying from you or going to your site.
Mhm.
And I'm guessing the number of people looking for crystals is a huge number.
Yeah.
Do you get those insights?
No.
Like how many? I'll try to see if I can.
Googled crystal. No, I don't get that.
Okay. So with the Google oops, sorry. Let me just go back to the Google site. You said you do have a Google My Business.
Yeah.
And let's see. You can also ask Google how many times or how many people get the analytics of specific keywords. So that's not what I wanted. Let's see. How do you log on to your Google My Business or Google? Is it Google Plus? Google Plus? No, it used to be Google Plus. We changed it so many times.
Let me see. I think I usually will go to the Maps program and it'll say you own this business. Yeah. So I go through Maps and I'll type in my shop and it says you manage this business profile. And then I can click on that and edit, or that's how I access it.
Okay. But you said through there you updated how many or like updated photos?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm gonna do what you did through Maps. So you put dress. Do you look it up by your business name or just a keyword?
If I am going to try to edit something, I'll go straight for my business name.
Okay.
But if I'm just checking where I rank in the search, I'll type in a keyword.
Okay. And so let's see, I'm gonna go and do the other site. I don't know why my computer is a little bit funny. So do you type in crystal store?
No, just crystals.
Just crystals. And do you get an insight as to what people Google when they look up your shop or when they look for a crystal store?
No.
Do you happen to know roughly how many people would be into crystals in our region?
No, but I can tell you that the majority of my customers are not local.
That's Interesting. How many, or go ahead.
Because I'm right on the Embarcadero, I get a lot of visitors.
Okay. So mostly touristy.
Yeah.
Where's your main customer? Where are your main customers from? Are they still within California?
Definitely.
Northern or south?
I would say Southern.
Southern, okay. And so compared to South California, would you say you have a lot of competition in that area?
In Southern California?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So do you think they just buy something from you because they're there in the moment?
I think that people are frivolous with their finances when they're on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is one thing, and people usually get really excited at the inventory that I have.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot more than they're used to seeing, and they tell me that my prices are really, really good.
Okay, that's good. After they leave, would you say they still shop from you knowing that you're there and your prices are affordable compared
I
to?
do get a lot of repeat customers, but some people are just like coming through and they won't come back.
Okay. I would say maybe we can figure out a way of getting those, even though they don't come back, that staying in touch with the customers that do buy and mention that you're a lot more affordable compared to wherever else they've been, because they're interested in them. Two, they obviously know how much other people charge.
Yeah.
So they either visit often or are looking for how to obtain more. They just don't, and price could be a component of it. What other products do you promote?
Right now I'm promoting sweaters. If there's a music festival or something like that, I'll, promote fashion that someone might want to wear to a festival. So the majority of my stuff is clothing. Crystals just happen to be really trendy.
What do you want to be known as?
I guess it's going to depend on the season, right?
You tell me. Is it based on the season? Are crystals a seasonal thing, or a certain clothing seasonal
Crystals
thing?
aren't really a seasonal thing, but like other things that have become really popular during the pandemic, that's one of them.
Okay. What about after the pandemic?
I think that there's always a market for that, which is, why I've always carried that. There's always a market for that, but it's something that's trending for sure. So if I have to like phase out that department a little bit, make that department a little smaller, I'm open to whatever is going to keep my doors open.
Yeah. It's the first thing that you mentioned to me. So
Yeah.
it sounds like it's important to you.
Yeah.
And is that how you would like to be known, or what your business would like to be known for, aside from clothing?
Yeah.
So you already mentioned you have a really good inventory. I'm going through maybe I should share that one. Let me go through. I'm going through the map also to see how far down you're coming up. And, it could be the fact that you have mostly clothing, I think you mentioned. Your website, is it, or do you do have a website? Yes. What kind of, or how do you select the type of content that you add in there?
I built my website in the beginning of the pandemic when my shop was closed. and I almost haven't paid it any attention since
Okay.
until the first time we met a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
I looked at it and decided I needed to add some things and take some things off that were sold out.
Okay. So you updated it.
Yeah, a little bit. How do I decide what goes on there? It's not really something I have decided, you know?
Okay. Have you, do you ask your customers any questions in terms of when they mention, oh, it's more affordable, or
Mhm,
hey, I didn't know you were around here.
mhm.
You mentioned they're from Southern California. So do you ask them question as to how often they buy jewelry or crystals?
No, I've not asked them that. They will normally offer where they've gotten them, where it's been more expensive.
Okay. Um,
I
so,
just want to say, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to say goodbye. I need to.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
And we'll wrap it up. You guys have my contact information if you want to reach back out, and we can go over either the progress or look over what your first step to the next marketing step is. So thank you, Malena. And thank you, Katie, too, for sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I will definitely reach back out. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So if you notice, you have, well, two sites come up. Of course, the Kernville and then the Morro Bay one.
Mhm.
And so let me look more into it to see what could be the issue with maybe not getting as much web traffic. But I definitely would say the fact that I'll go back to your website. The fact that you maybe didn't keep logging into your site.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the content that you have, or at least for what I've seen, it isn't many words. You do have love, healing, words that are very important. And you have your social media information. You have a way of getting a hold of you. And I love the crystals. It's very colorful and beautiful. So, I'm guessing you're targeting female mostly.
Mostly, yeah.
Do you get much social media engagement?
Sometimes, I was definitely listening to the insight thing because you were talking about a lot of information that I wasn't aware of. Some of my posts get more stickiness than others. But some people won't even like a post of mine,
Mhm.
but they'll come in and buy the thing that I posted and tell me that they saw it.
Right. And that's interesting too, because sometimes it has to do with how people view that specific product around them. It's a very personal, to some it can be spiritual. It's a component of somebody's or a being's interest and belief system, or unless they are just into it because of the colors and the shape of things.
Yeah, there's that too.
So it's understanding how they connect with the product. That's something that you could ask your customers from now on, just to get a sense of, why do you buy crystals? What does it mean to you, or what does it make you feel, or when did you even start buying crystals, and how often do you buy them? You can do that questionnaire, not necessarily like one after another, but just in a conversation where they don't feel bombarded by all these questions. But it will definitely give you an idea of how many that aren't currently shopping will be led to you. Maybe we don't want others to know that, hey, I actually believe that crystals have a lot of healing element or,
Yeah.
you know, but because a lot of people maybe think it's just coincidence or I don't know, whatever, but I believe it and I want them. And so I'm glad I found this. I'm just not gonna like it because, you know, it could pop up in social media or whatever. And it's something very personal to each person. Also, when they do purchase, ask if you can, you know, when you hear an interesting story or you get excited for somebody purchasing a specific crystal, ask them if you can take a picture of the product, post it on social media and tag them and just, you know, either say thank you for this like amazing, colorful, whatever the product is. Or you can tell a little bit about their story and how, if they don't mind, and say when they first started to buy crystals. Always mention where you're located, how they can get a hold of you. And
That's very sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that will really help people bring them back to either your website. If your purpose is to get more web traffic, then I would say list your website. If you want phone calls, obviously, put your phone number. But whatever you think will sell the fastest or whatever you feel is more important. So even if you invite them to your location, if you feel like it's more important to connect with them on a personal level, put the location instead of the website shop, because that will give you an opportunity to know who's coming in.
Yeah, thank you.
On a personal level. Yeah. And with the whole website, it has more to do with the activity that you are having with the website. And also when you list your products, have a description, or does it have a description once you click on it? Yeah, I highly recommend, and I know this is so time consuming.
It's brutal.
Yeah, I'm sure it's so like you feel like you're never gonna finish.
Do you know what? I know myself well enough to know that I do not want to sell from my website. I
Yeah.
would prefer to take these products down and have, like, this is an example of the sorts of things that you'll find to dress your soul.
Right.
Because I don't want to mail stuff out. I really do want people to come in.
Yeah, I would too. It just gives it another level of enjoyment. Yeah, with that service. So yeah, when you, if you don't mind, or if you could, maybe select some of the top sellers or some of your favorite and add a description in it, because that will create content in Google. Or in the
Okay,
Google
thank
world.
you.
Mm-hmm. And even if just, you know, with, I don't know if you got the link to this, I'll put it in there again. So if you want to make your goal, add 10 descriptions to 10 products for that week or that month.
Nice.
And you could just put 1 month. Make sure that those 10 that you add a description to, you share in your social media somehow. So whether you link it back to your shop or tell them your address. Do you have two Facebook sites? One for each?
No, I have 2 Instagrams and 1 Facebook.
Okay. Why 2 Instagrams?
Because I have majority of the same things in both stores, but I do have different things. I wanted to share different community things.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I have 1 Facebook is because I just couldn't do one more thing.
Right. So if you wanted to join your Instagram, even though it's 2 different communities, it's still I would think it's still kind of similar target audience because of the interest. I could be wrong.
And a lot of them follow both pages, which drives me insane.
Yeah, and so if they're seeing redundant graphics on both pages, then it's kind of like, oh, she put the same thing on the other one, then why am I following
Right.
this one? And so, yeah, I would say if you want, you could join them. And then they would be even one less thing that you have to do, but also it would keep everything consistent. And then that way, because otherwise you're having to post 2 times at least, 3 times if you separate your Facebook from Instagram linkage.
Oh, I don't do that. Facebook and Instagram, whatever comes up on Instagram, Facebook gets it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, your pictures are great, but that was one thing that I did notice, that it didn't have much writing or type,
Yeah.
content,
Yeah.
except in your blog.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
But I did notice this is the first thing that you want to be known for. And
Right.
then the main product that you're selling is your like dresses and clothing,
Mhm.
right? Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna wrap this up. I don't know if anybody else has any questions. Oh, I don't think I sent the link again, but just in case, I'm gonna put the link to the
Hey,
Google
Romy?
Doc. Yes.
Romy, sorry, there's a question that Sylvia put in the chat box.
Oh, okay. Sylvia.
Do you want me to read it or?
Yeah, I don't see
Okay,
it.
no problem. It says, I have had a problem with my GBP. There is a picture that has emerged. I have no idea how it was posted, but someone has complained, the owner, I presume, and would like me to take it down. I have tried, but cannot. Also, I am having a problem getting verified because the postcard is getting sent to the address where I teach. I am only there on Wednesday evenings. I thought that there was a method that involved a phone number or email. Thank you very much for all the info.
Yeah. Sylvia, are you still here?
Yes, she is.
Okay. The GVP you said?
That's what it says.
Google business profile.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah. So unfortunately, yeah, it does have to go to the address where you teach. What other locations are you at or available?
That's it. Just
That's it.
where, yeah.
And so,
I thought I had verified. No, I did verify. I have been verified many years ago, probably about 8 years ago. But because I haven't been doing any activity, I believe, not posting any photos or comments or anything, I think it just kind of closed out.
mhm.
And so that I'm required to verify again.
Yeah.
But I just wondered if there was a way to request that phone call, because that's how I did it the first time, through a phone call.
Yeah, I remember that too. And I believe they changed. They do a phone call just to verify that it's your business linked to that phone number. But then to verify that that address is actually linked to your business, they do the address, I mean, the letter.
Okay.
For that same reason, just to see if you even get get the letter.
Okay.
So,
So I'll just have to get over there when the owner is there and ask if they've received anything for me.
how often is anybody there?
Oh, there's always someone in, see, I'm in studio number 3, and there are 3 studios altogether, number 1, 2, and 3. And number 1 is often used afternoons and evenings by the owner and other instructors, ballet instructors, jazz instructors. But I'm sure that someone else is picking up the mail,
Yeah, somebody's got to be getting it. So yeah, I would say it's just a matter of connecting with the person that always, or if they, what are they doing with the mail? Do they just give it to somebody else to open it, or?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I hope they're not passing what they think is junk mail.
Yeah. Because it's being sent to Namele Okekai, the business name.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, I've been there for about 6 years. So someone, should realize that, oh, this is for the hula teacher,
Mhm.
but maybe I need to go into and find somebody. And
Who
ask
created
them.
your website?
I did.
Okay. No, it's good. It's very clear. I mean, are you taking any new students or?
Oh, always.
Always?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes. And I've actually been wanting to get a professional to do my website. I'd like it to be more alive, with movement in it. And I just don't know how to do that.
Yeah. I mean, we could look at that, but I like that you have a website to begin with. It gives you that presence online again. We can look at the content later on, what words you use or how it can become more inviting with just a few changes until you have the funding for somebody else, either to manage it or to redesign it. I would say if you're able to add more classes, how many more classes can you do?
I would like to add more classes, but I have constraints, and that is because I think I mentioned this before.
Mhm.
My hours have to, or I can only teach when there's availability
Right.
after the ballet and the jazz, and then my landlord, her classes with the Middle Eastern dance. And so I haven't been able to expand, and that's my problem. So I'm trying to seek out another location.
Let's call me if you can, or if you'd like to. We can come up with other ways of having classes. I mean, right here, you're talking about parties and weddings. I do believe there's a huge need for entertainment, and it could be outside of the studio.
We have a lot. We've been very busy with entertaining with corporate events and private parties. That's not an issue.
Okay.
I'm very busy with that.
Yeah.
I just need to be able to teach regularly at a place that I can call my own.
Okay.
Where
Then
where I would have fewer time constraints.
right. Yeah. So we can look at your budget or look at how to find a place that won't cost you that much, maybe, or that will hold up all your finances. But in terms of the Google thing, yeah, if you could just ask around and figure out who got the letter, do it again and give them the heads up. Whoever's there most of the day or whoever receives the mail. And then you mentioned something about a post or a photo.
A photo. If you go to my Google business profile, if you click on if you search Namelia Kakai and click on it, on the right side in Google search, there's a picture of a fence with some plants in front of it.
Yeah.
It's not my website. It's the Google business profile.
Okay. Let's see.
So you got to get out of the website and do a search.
You're on Yellow Pages. Oh, sorry, I'm on the other screen. Let's see. So let me try to get it through Facebook or Google. It's probably the whole map thing.
Yes.
Let me share the other screen.
And while you're doing that, Romy, I'm going to address a question that's in the chat box from Katie, to Sylvia. She
Mhm.
says, Sylvia, is the photo you want down the one that Bella uploaded? I just reported the photo and said it was not in the business.
It's that one right there, that,
Okay.
that,
Yeah, so I can, you can have somebody else go, or once you're logged in, I think, let's see. It also could be due to the fact that you haven't
I haven't
completed
verified.
the Google. You haven't claimed the site completely.
But customers can post photos of your business. I think this woman accidentally posted that and doesn't know how to take it down. And since
Oh.
Sylvia's not able to claim her business, she
Right.
can't take it down either. So if we all report it, maybe Google will take it down.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, once you have claimed it or full access to claiming it, you should be able to do a lot more.
Okay.
So I can
So I'm
suggest
gonna
edit,
catch-
or
I'm gonna catch 22 then.
Right.
unless you want me to select close or remove, change name, or other details maybe.
Well, as long as it's just the picture that's being affected, the fence
Okay.
picture.
What would you like? Maybe I can take it from your website.
Isn't that odd that you can do it, but I can't?
It depends how you're logged in. So if you're logged in as your business, it might not allow you because you haven't completed the full registration. If you go in as an individual, it probably will let you.
Oh,
Mhm.
that seems so odd because it means that anybody could manipulate my,
Yes, that's why it's really, really important that you can claim anything that's out there on any platform. Because anybody can claim it. Anybody can claim a website address. Anybody can claim a business page address. And that's why it's a scary and nightmare situation when anybody can have that much power over your business. But having clarity with your customers is always it always makes it work out.
Mhm. Okay, I will try going in as a individual. No, how can I go? Well, I am going in as an individual. If I'm just typing in Namelio Kikai and clicking on it, I'm not saying who I am.
Is it still the same Gmail that you registered the site through?
I'm not going in through Gmail.
And Google connects everything. That's the frustrating part too.
Hmm.
That if you're logged in your phone through your Gmail, that specific Gmail will connect with even Facebook now, or YouTube now. And so this site, especially being Google, will know that it's you trying to do something else.
Well, Kat, thank you very much for that info. And I'm going to really do my best to complete the verification
Yeah.
and then see if I can do more then with getting that picture removed.
Yeah, and if you're staying really busy with events, weddings, parties, or anything, take pictures. Make sure you have the consent of those that are participating, and post as much as you can on Facebook, because that will help the engagement. It will help people know that you're still up and going or what you're up to.
Well, it seems to me that pictures
Mhm.
that
Or
they don't require the okay of the people in the pictures. There, for example, we did an event for event planners,
Mhm.
and there were people taking videos all over the place, photographers, professional photographers. I couldn't take any pictures because I was involved with my dancers performing. So and they appeared on my website. No one asked me if that was okay.
Who appeared on your website?
Photos taken by these professional photographers
On your website?
on, not my website, on my Facebook page.
Okay, which is good, actually, if you, if you can create some business size cards, and every time you see a photographer or videographer, if you can tell them, if you don't mind, could you please tag me? Here's my card or in my information, or maybe I can have access to some of your work and I will make sure to tag you. Because we're always wanting to get known as well as a photographer or videographer or any production company.
Mhm.
And that way you have access, you have those files and everybody's getting promoted.
Yes.
Once you do post it on your site, if everybody on your dancing team can be tagged, tag them as much as possible also. Or, have people like the page. And we'll go back to the fact that you need a location in order to expand.
Yes, I'll contact you.
Yeah,
We'll work on that.
okay. But
Thank you
yeah,
very much.
I think that was it, unless anybody else has other questions.